Peace be upon you and God's mercy. This was the car's interior after all its components were removed, including the seats, dashboard, door panels, floor mats, and any other parts. This is how it looks after being completely insulated from the inside with sound and heat insulation, stronger than the factory insulation, and with many benefits. I'll show you now with a practical demonstration. Follow along with the explanation. If this insulation is applied correctly in the car, it achieves three main benefits. The first benefit is complete sound insulation. This means you hear very little engine noise and you hear very little street and road noise. The second benefit is heat insulation. The engine heat doesn't enter the car at all, and the same applies to the sun and heat. All of this is greatly reduced. This leads us to the third benefit, which is improving the efficiency of the air conditioner. Let me show you the steps and do a test to prove what I'm saying. As for me, I removed all the components, the car. Because it had just undergone a complete bodywork and repainting, it was a good opportunity for me to complete the car's restoration. But for you, you don't need to disassemble all these components. Leave the dashboard in place as it's the most difficult part to remove. Start by sealing the area underneath, starting here and passing under the car's pedals, then above the gear shift tunnel and below the glove compartment, all the way to the right front bumper. This should be quite reasonable. Of course, removing the door panels is easy, but before you start sealing, it's important to inspect the metal underneath the car. If you find rust like this, you must treat it first before sealing. This inspection includes all the metal parts inside the car. I'll show you an example of how to treat rust caused by a blockage in the drain for washing water and rainwater underneath. Use a wire brush to sand and clean the rusted area to determine if it's a superficial rust or a deep rust that requires cutting the metal and welding new metal in its place. In my case, it's a superficial rust. The wire brush removed it and the metal is in excellent condition. After you finish sanding, take a clean cloth or wipes dampened with gasoline and clean the area thoroughly, removing all traces of sanding and any other dirt. The next step depends on the cleanliness of the metal. Wait until the metal dries from the gasoline. You'll benefit from using it on the underside of the car floor to insulate against rust, water, and road elements. In addition to its sound dampening properties, it's used on the underside of the car and in the wheel wells. I'll leave the link below the video in case you have exposed metal under the car and want to insulate it or want to double the sound insulation of the car floor and protect it against rust. Shake well for a while. 2 minutes. At least spray from a distance of approximately 30 centimeters. Use quick, intermittent sprays to ensure even distribution of the material. Be aware that it has a thick consistency, unlike regular paints. This was the area with rust marks, and this is how it looked after sanding, cleaning, and sealing. This is how the car's interior floor looks after cleaning and sealing. All of this is done with the rubber sealant. Next, we will begin the sound and heat insulation process for the entire interior of the car. We will use this product called Sound and Heat Insulation for Cars, which is designed to perform sound and heat insulation tasks in all types of cars. When you take it out of the bags and lift it, you will notice that it comes in two thicknesses, 10 millimeters, which is used on the car floor and behind the dashboard, and 6 millimeters, which is used for the doors, trunk, or roof. Each package contains 16 pieces. The size of the piece is 30 centimeters by 50 centimeters. When I bring it closer, you'll notice it's made up of interlocking and complex cells of thermal foam that disperses sound and heat insulating them and preventing their transfer. On one side, it has a thermal aluminum fabric to prevent heat transfer to the car. On the other side, it has double-sided tape, meaning it's ready to be glued. Each piece is flexible and can be shaped to fit any curves in the car's interior metal. I'll leave the link below the video, whether it's 10 millimeters or 6 millimeters thick, if you'd like to buy it, depending on what you want to insulate in the car. I'll do a simple and quick test so you understand its benefit in sound and heat insulation. This is a simple piece of iron, all thin strips to allow sound to pass through. These are two pieces of metal that were once one piece, and I cut them in half for the test. I'll put them on iron next to each other. I placed a nut on them at the same height. The sound was the same, there was no difference. I removed the nut and got the sound and heat insulation. I cut a piece to the size of the metal, scraped the backing, and stuck it onto one of the pieces. I turned it face down and repeated the same impact test. There was a difference of at least 25%. The sound was less and more muffled for the insulated metal. I got a clock and a heat gun to do the second test, which was to heat each piece of metal for 10 seconds, then switch to the second piece for 10 seconds. I put the heat gun away, turned the two pieces over, and got an IR to measure their temperatures. The one without insulation recorded an average of 45 degrees Celsius, while the one with insulation recorded the room temperature, which was 30 degrees Celsius. The product's ability to prevent heat transfer is indeed very high. Now let's move on to the steps for installing it in the car. These steps are very simple, but pay close attention. First, you get the piece and see if it's suitable for the location or if you need to cut it. If you need to cut it, then cut it before peeling it off. If it's suitable, then turn it over and peel off a part of it, not all of it, so you can control it and secure it from the point where you need to insulate. If there are any protruding metal screws, press on them as they pass through, then press them down with your hand, and they will stick immediately because they come pre-adhered. After that, lift the piece and peel off another part, then press it down firmly so it sticks. As I mentioned, the advantage of peeling it off part by part is that you can control the piece, because if you peel it all off, it will be difficult to control it and stick it professionally. The same steps apply to the second piece, but the most important thing is that you don't leave any gaps between them. If you seal the gaps tightly, you'll transform the driver's cabin into something resembling a self-contained box, insulated against all external noises, heat, and cold. You'll see excellent results. This insulation, from personal experience, prevents engine noise and heat, as well as road noise, and improves the air conditioner's performance. This is what I saw while insulating the area behind the dashboard. I'll insulate the right and left sides before moving on to the car floor. For the roof, I used 6 millimeter insulation because it's suitable. This is the final result after I finished insulating the entire roof. This is what the car looks like now after I completely insulated it. Here's an important point I need to clarify. If your factory insulation is intact, you place it on top of this insulation to double the insulation layer, so that the sound and heat insulation is the first layer, and the insulation, the factory one, the second layer on top of it. Like and share the video so that people who want to insulate their car's interior with complete sound and heat insulation will know the method, steps, and product used. After you click the subscribe button, activate notifications by clicking the bell icon. That's the end of the video. We'll continue together in the next video, God willing.